Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Sunday. It's a Sith Lord Joey video today again. So, it's been a little while since we've done another on-camera video. I've mostly been making music videos for you guys, which I do have a few other music video ideas in the pipeline. If you guys are interested in any other new music video ideas, please let me know in the comments below. But that's not what this video is. This video is me, while you guys are all talking about How to Train Your Dragon, as How to Train Your Dragon is this week's release. Last week, I saw Ballerina, which is the latest in the John Wick franchise. So I thought it was time that we rank all John Wick films, including their spin-offs, for this in this franchise so far. So we're going to rank the franchise from, the first three John Wick movies to the Continental spin-off, and now Ballerina, and judge for what we think is the best projects and what are the worst projects. And remember, this might not be the right list, but it is my list, and I'd love to know yours in the comments below. It's okay if I have a different list than yours. We're all human. We all have different opinions, and that's awesome. So let's go. In 3, 2, 1. Coming in at number 6 on the list, we have the Continental. Okay, look. Peacock, great streaming service. I was excited for this show when it came out because I think the idea of a prequel exploring the Continental and exploring Winston's backstory and some of the other characters sounded like a great idea on paper. But not bringing the John Wick creatives involved on this and just kind of doing whatever the hell you wanted was a mistake. Even Chad Stileski is dissing these guys that made this project. And I can't blame him because honestly, what they've done is utterly ridiculous. They're not listening. They don't care. And they made a show that it was like shorter, it was like longer episodes, but they only had I think 4 episodes or whatever, and it felt so rushed, and the character Winston in here, you don't believe this is his backstory. The Mel Gibson character is Mel Gibson, campy, whatever, but and there are some interesting action scenes, but nothing ever lives up to that of John Wick, which is why it is the lowest on the list, and I'll probably not rewatch it again. And it is probably the worst in the John Wick franchise. Now, after we're done with this one, our next one may be a little controversial, but just know that after Continental, I love each of these films and the rest of the franchise as well. It's just with Continental. I mean, we have a lot of good things coming in the John Wick franchise. We'll probably do an updated ranking once, because we ranked the 4 films already. But we'll do an updated ranking when we get the new anime and when we get the Kane spinoff and probably John Wick 5 as well. But for now, this is the franchise we have. So yeah, number 6, Continental, not a huge fan. Coming in at number 5 on the list. Now these 5 I all enjoy and I have minor issues with them. It's just some things I like better than others. Alright, so coming in at number 4 on the list, or number 5, sorry. Coming in at number 5 on the list, we have John Wick Chapter 2. Now look, a lot of people are going to not understand this take, but that's okay. I'm going to explain it. So John Wick 2, great sequel to the original movie. Love the nostalgic pencil scene. Great action choreography. The plot, however, leaves a little to be desired, I feel. Because I feel there's a lot of good things in this movie, but the first movie was so amazing because John Wick got back in this world when they took his dog. They killed his dog that his wife gave him. I know that meant so much to him. But in the second movie, there's this guy that, is working for the high table, and John pisses him off, and then he blows up his house. And, look, we've seen these revenge stories before, but, couldn't you just get a new house? I get that was sentimental to him when him and his wife might have lived in that house, but you could have just got a new house. You didn't need to go and just kill all these people. And look, they got Ruby Rose in this movie, and they got Common, and there's some great action, there's some great knife fights, and some of the choreography is quite good. I do like it. I think it didn't really feel as good. It's awesome John Wick taking out assassins and whatever, and the end mirror scene is cool, but I feel the action only gets better in this franchise as we go along. And I feel like this movie had really good action. I think the story, him killing the guy at the country because he blew up his house and everything and egged him on, just a little bit dramatic for my take. It just didn't really sit right with me personally. That's my thoughts. I still think it's a great movie. It's got great sequences. And also, I'm not as crazy about all the gunplay in John Wick. I like more of the close quarters, hand-to-hand combat stuff. So no, me as a John Wick film, I love guns. I think gun sequences are good. But I think that there was more gunplay in the second movie than there was actual hand-to-hand combat. Now, there was some hand-to-hand combat. There were some judo throws. There were still some John Wick stuff we love. But the gun fu elements has always been some of the best stuff in this franchise. And I feel like number 1, 3, and 4 really carried that. So that's why I got it at number 5 on my list. Still a good film, but not as... And it starts off with a banger. It's got some great moments, but it's not nearly as good as what comes later, in my opinion. But like I said, once again, it's my opinion. It's my list. If you guys think differently, let me know in the comments. That's totally okay. All right, now coming in at number 3. No, sorry. Coming in at number 4. So now at number 4 on my list, this is where things get interesting. Now, not everyone's going to agree with this take. So I teetered back and forth with this, and this is where I'm at with it, okay? I've decided I'm going to give the number 4 spot to John Wick 3. Okay, look. Now, rewatching this, I have a ton of fun with this movie. I think it's great. I think it absolutely delivers. There is some pacing issues. I do think the story is interesting. I do think that it's a lot of fun because you have Mark Dacascos as the main villain, and the Judicator's interesting, and I love how they build out John Wick's actual history here. And I think bringing in Halle Berry was a good idea. Great action sequences. Love they brought the raid guys in for the final fight, and they delivered. Good fight sequences in this movie. A lot of villainous comparisons. Loved the whole plot of John Wick going on the run and having to take out everybody. Think it worked brilliantly, and I really did enjoy it. So I'll put it at number 3 just for the pacing issues and just because it's not as cohesive as the further movies. But I do think that it is still a really solid iteration. I do like it. I do think it's got some great action sequence from working with Halle Berry with the dogs, going different countries. I think it's quite good, and I did enjoy it. But that being said, the lore isn't as heavy as it could be. But there's just not enough cohesive here. It's very good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not quite as good as it could be. That being said, I got Ballerina at number 3 on my list. Okay, now Ballerina I just saw last weekend, and I think it is one of the best John Wick films because Amadeus Armas brings a lot to this role. We start this film with wannabe Jensen Ackles, and he's all right, and the action is like, okay, it's good action, but it's not good for John Wick level. But then as the movie progresses, you're getting like John Wick showing up in this movie almost like a Darth Vader Rogue One moment where he's just like a beast that cannot be stopped, and it did take away a little bit from Armis's character of Eve, but it was great seeing the two of them kind of work together in their own chaos. Great fight sequences in this movie. There's bloody, it's brutal. Eve is very different from John Wick, and I really like that about her. I think she has a lot of different personality, different character, uses different weapons. Her fighting style isn't the same as John Wick's, and it makes them cool. Like, John Wick is much more of a throw people around, shoot them kind of brutal way. Eve will shoot people. She's good in hand-to-hand combat. She's got good kicks. She's quite an interesting character, and each sequence in this movie just keeps getting better and better. So I really like Ballerina. I love that in 3, we didn't really have quite a great conclusion. We just kind of like left on a cliffhanger to set up the next film. Where here you feel satisfied. Like, they don't have to do a Ballerina 2. They could if they wanted to, but we'll probably just see Eve in some other movie. I really felt like this was a good conclusion to starting her story off as a prequel, and I really liked it. So I thought that was great, that it had a good conclusion. That it has great action sequences, a couple cool flamethrower stuff with some ice skates, some club scenes like we know for the original John Wick. I love it. I think it's great. It's a really good, strong movie. So that's why I'm happy giving Ballerina number 3 on my spot. But now, number 2 on my spot is the first John Wick movie. Now look, a lot of people might disagree with this take. They might be, oh, it's number 1, but you'll see why in a minute. Alright, so the first John Wick movie is simple. We have these Russians who want to take John Wick's car and his dog, and John Wick doesn't give up either of them, and then the Russians kill his dog. And, when I first saw this movie, I love this movie because you got the guy from The Matrix, and you think, okay, we haven't done a Matrix movie in a while. what are we doing here? What's the motive? What's the presence we're going for here? What are we doing? And it's just absolute carnage. I mean, you have Peter Stormare in, you have great actors in here like Peter Stormare. You have so many great stuff in this movie. A worthy antagonist, a hunt for this Russian kid that messed up big time, like, and the idea of how they set up in the lore how John Wick is this scary dude and killing his dog. You know, you've made a big mistake that literally affects the whole Russian organization, and John goes and kills them, burns their money. You know, it's brilliant. This first John Wick movie is great. Great hand-to-hand combat, great gunplay, awesome action sequences, a great soundtrack. And Ballerina shared that too. Ballerina had a great soundtrack. I'd say overall, everything except for Continental, I think the John Wick franchise has an incredible soundtrack, and it definitely delivers. And the choreography here really delivers. I really enjoyed John Wick 1. It's a great first film to kick off an amazing franchise. I loved it. Now, number one on my list, and it's, without any surprises, I'm biased as fuck here, but we gotta go John Wick 4. Okay, this movie is a proper conclusion. They never had to make a John Wick 5 if they didn't want to, but they clearly have plans for a John Wick 5 because it's a very successful franchise, which I get. I just hope John Wick 5 delivers on the satisfaction that what John Wick 4 did. Because John Wick 4 continued the entire world going after John Wick, the High Table making a target, and we're going to war with the High Table. And that's what 3 set up, and 4 definitely delivered on that promise. You have great moments. John Wick faking his death, and we still think he could be dead, or it sounds like he's coming back, so it might not be dead. But we'll have to see what happens in John Wick 5. But standouts here, you know, you have incredible acting talent in this movie. You bring in Donnie Yen, he steals the damn show from John Wick. I love John Wick, but if you're convinced that John Wick is the best fighter in this franchise, he's up there for sure and can't be stopped by a lot of things. But I really love Kane in this franchise, and I can't wait for the Kang spinoff because Kane is going to also be Donnie Yen is an incredible martial artist in his 50s, and he'll be directing the film and bringing on a Hong Kong stunt team. So you know it's going to slap. You know it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see what they do here. Like, it's brilliant. But John Wick 4, anyway, great fight sequences. We have armored thugs. We have a Frogger-related sequence. We have the dragon breath from Fortnite scene, tracking shot. Oh, chef's kiss. Like, this entire movie is chef's kiss. Donnie Yen and John Wick teaming up and fighting on the stairs. John Wick wielding nunchucks and then also facing off against Donnie Yen. And we have Scott Adkins in this movie. Like, oh my god. John Wick 4 is everything the John Wick franchise needed and more. And it's the best film in the franchise, 100%. It delivers on the choreography, the story, the epicness, the mayhem, all of it. It's brilliant. So I love the John Wick franchise. I think it's a more consistent franchise than the Mission Impossible franchise. This is my ranking. Let me know yours in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.